Today we have Vanessa Wilson, aka Crafty Gemini, here to show us how you can use Scan and Cut to customize ready-made clothing and even make your own clothing. Vanessa, I just want to see what it is that I see this gorgeous little dress here. This pillowcase dress, these are all the rage right now.
They sure are.
And so tell me what it is that you did.
So whether you make the dress or not, you can buy it, like you said, ready-made. I've added a little embellishment here. In this case, it happens to be a pocket, so it's a functional embellishment. But you can embellish your clothing and all kinds of stuff super easily. I'm going to show you how I'm going to make a lined pocket. I have another little pillowcase dress here with a cute ruffle. Thank you. And so we're going to get started. I have my fabric here, and a key thing that I always do when I'm cutting out fabric on the Scan and Cut is that I prep my fabric by starching it. So you just hit it with some starch, a nice hot iron, and then it's going to stabilize it for you. Makes for crisp cutting and easier sewing as well.
It lays it nice and flat.
Perfectly. So I have my fabric here. I've already gone ahead and used the seam allowance feature to trace out where the seam allowance is going to be for the pockets. And so now what we're going to do is cut them out so you can see.
Awesome.
And so it looks a little bit odd, but you got to think outside the box and use the built-in shapes all kinds of ways. I'm going to turn it around by using this little function right here. Turn it 90 degrees. Now it looks like a pocket, right, Liz?
Yeah, there you go.
Another great thing is that you see the height and the width here, I can change them. You see, if I up it, it's moving both of them together.
It's constraining them.
It is. Now, if we hit this little icon here, each one of these measurements can increase or decrease independent of the other. So I can make the pocket as wide or as tall as I want. So it's great. So we're going to do this one at a 4-inch height. And then the width, I'm going to up it a little bit, just a 4 1/4, just so you can see. Okay? Now I have my number at 1. I need 2 because it's a lined pocket. We're going to up this number to 2. Click Set. And then all we need to do is click OK. Actually, I need to go back and add the seam allowance.
I was going to say, I think that seam allowance.
And you can just, you see this?
Would be yeah.
You can select each one independent, or you can just select them both.
And that's a great thing to be able to know if you wanted to inlay them inside of each other, then you have
for all kinds of things, especially if you're quilting. I like to have my pieces start off a little bit bigger and then trim them down, so you can also use that for that kind of project.
A great tip to know.
So here we are, ready to cut. Just going to click Cut and press Start. And there it goes. It's going to cut you 2 perfect pocket pieces.
Now, while that's cutting, I mean, you have this already to go. Explain it a little bit to me.
Take both your pieces, you're going to lay them with the pretty sides of the fabric touching, and then we're going to stitch on them. And then the seam allowance here, the drawing line, it's great because it's not just your seam allowance now it's also your guide. So for stitching around a curve. Do you feel comfortable stitching around curves?
No, I don't. Well, and that is amazing.
It's perfect. You don't have to be lifting up your press little by little. You can just stitch it right in a clean curve like that. You are going to stitch it all the way up. We leave a little opening on one side to turn it inside out. Then we have something that looks like that. You press it down, and then you're ready to attach it to whatever garment or a bag, a tote, backpack, anything like that you want. And then you're just going to stitch around, and then you have your little pocket.
That's so wonderful.
Easy. It really is.
So now you've talked about the pocket, and I see here, I can't keep my eyes off of these. Explain a little bit how you took this ready-made shirt.
So I just took a ready-made shirt, and I thought it would be great for if you have kids that are in dance or they play sports. Instead of purchasing items of clothing that are super expensive to be custom, you can do it super inexpensively. This is just a number that's built into the machine as well. Monogramming, it's a great inexpensive way. You can see this is just a small scrap, and I cut this from that.
That is wonderful that you can take something and make it your own with little to no fuss.
That's it.
You know, Vanessa, thank you so much for showing us these nice tips on whether we decide to make our own projects or even do something ready-made. It's been very helpful.
It's for everybody, that's for sure.